just answering questions with WAPTech. I found out a while ago that I'm mentioned on a cross-reference list of good, bad, and indifferent sources on the internet, most of them are YouTube channels, that are covering the Delphi case. The review of me is indicative of their biases and the quality. Basically, mostly harmless. WAPTech produces content of a specific variety. No other mention. I'm not great or bad. I'm just, he isn't telling lies and he isn't exploiting it and doesn't seem to have any red flags. That's an appropriate way to review my channel. I am nothing special. And I'm not making myself something special by being some fucking troll or exploiter or a GoFundMe guy. So maybe this is useful to you. I'll include the links to it if I can. What if they don't have raw data because the phone was never found? That the images were extracted from the phone to the PC? Could that be a possibility? If you're not aware of this, early on in the investigation in Delphi, people who were in the know, some people acting as whistleblowers, some people in the family, some people who lived in the area, some people who went on out to find evidence, people who lived in the area, neighbors, and just random people on the internet repeated things as if they were fact because they thought they heard these things. And that means that all of those sources should be looked at, but not considered completely valid. You should assume that people can make mistakes. Organizations can make mistakes. If you assume a police department can either A, make mistakes, or if you're going to go extreme and say they're part of some conspiracy theory where evil reptilians are eating baby brains, if you're going to say something that crazy, you should be able to say that the next door neighbor up the road that wasn't there for a full week during this may not have as good information as the cops. Official sources or not, the phone was found. They're not mentioning any details, and the data was extracted from it. Of Liberty Rose Lynn Libby German and or Abigail Joyce Abby Williams, when you look them up, with any of those compound names and, of course, more importantly, nicknames, you will find hundreds of websites that are not even referring to them or are simply using their names to refer to something else, like a product called the Abigail Williams doll. Liberty and German show up on dozens and dozens of sites that have nothing to do with it, and then you have spammer channels and spammer sites that are just using computer algorithms to make content that vaguely refer to this. When I try to look up what make, model, and year the phone or phones were, I don't find information that's accurate. One of them wasn't mentioned. One of these people didn't have a phone that was mentioned at all by anybody. The other one had a phone, and that held a video, and that is the source for literally all audio and video files and photos concerning it that we call the Bridge Guy video. It's the only thing being released. All other data about the phone is non-released data. They haven't released or hinted at it, officially or unofficially. Yes, the whistleblowers are lying until otherwise proven, and you should have that attitude. Please refer to the Reddit posting to find out who has lied and stop listening to them, or at least acknowledge they could be lying because they were caught at one time. And yes, you need to accept that some of the YouTubers out there are just lying. The additional evidence that was secured from that phone has not been released, and they don't want to compromise any future trial. I think this is a giant mistake. But I'm going to go into some detail about this, but I'm going to read back not just a statement or a comment or a question from someone, but the same thing I said, and I'm going to word it the way they did because they did a better job here. Detectives need to put up the exact quality info in the exact timeline, noting any and all manipulation of it, of the original raw info and the raw info in stack, meaning here's what we got where it's not with the Bridge Guy right setup. He's upside down in a corner at an angle, and then what they derive from it. So we can critique their work and rub their nose in it because they're afraid of that, or more accurately, so we can figure out what went wrong, so we can undo our videos we may have posted with erroneous data because we didn't know whatever the fuck it is they used and whatever it is they started with and whatever the raw data was. Even if it's fuzzy, it might assist if we could get it stabilized to appear straight on and cleaned up, which is what the police tried to do. Not Disney, not NASA, not Elon Musk, not name that inserted search engine optimized word that's supposed to get attention and page views and Patreon money. Again, refer to the Reddit listing because, and I got to point this out, anybody who watches my channel, if they're being honest, is going to say I'm mostly harmless. I'm not really useful in many ways. I have a tendency of, quote-unquote, verbatim regurgitation of facts. If someone thinks me verbatim regurgitating facts is bad, stop listening to them. Even if you don't like me, the fact that I will give you the ability to critique me, locate my information, or ignore the whole fucking video by just looking shit up means that I'm not doing this for any other reason other than to correct even my misconceptions. I'm not holier than thouing this. I mean, I think this is base level, and so does this Reddit list. I'm not saying it's perfect. Oh boy, it isn't. They like the conspiracy theorists that go off on a tangent, but they note that they're just bullshitting. They're at least mostly honest. So this is my mostly harmless review of this one website having one stack of information done by about a half a dozen people who reviewed this. It says I'm useful in technical data or something like that. I didn't even read it much. The fact that it said that I was of no real note, except that I at least wasn't making it worse, really, is good. The review I got for me doing Las Vegas shooting was the same and only said I did an exceptional job in one or two things, and mostly it was about really comparing the claims of machine gun fire with what the sounds were, showing none of it was machine gun fire and there's nothing you can do about it. Everybody assumed it was machine gun fire. It's emulating a machine gun. That's what a bump stock does. But it isn't. It just fucking isn't a machine gun in any of the cases. Period. And you'll still have people who will angrily post below, I was a Marine for 2 years and a Navy SEAL and somehow a Halo jumper. And yeah, Call of Duty is great. It's fucking awesome. Not the same thing. It's not a machine gun. That's the only thing anybody noted about me besides me mocking people who kept talking about monkeys in little raincoats in trees. Don't ask. I'm not talking about it. Go ask NSERV. Let them go off on it. Let them get the squeaky toy, the duck, the whole bit. The dog toys. All the noises added into the audio. Anyway, how would you do an actual copy of data off a cell phone? I'll tell you at the end if we got time. What make, model, and year of phone did Abigail Williams or Liberty German have? But one of them doesn't. I don't care. One of them, we're going to do this like we do a lie detector test. You ask somebody something innocuous that seems unimportant, but get them to answer. It either causes them great stress to go off on a tangent that doesn't seem to matter, or they calm down. You gauge a person's reaction to that. And then over here, make, model, and year of the phone that held the data. What software was it running? What version? That's important. What app was used to create the video and audio recordings? Are they all just one audio-video recording? The make, model, and year tell us the hardware. The software version will tell us the built-in apps, if any. And if it's a different app, we have to have a positive indication of what program was used to create this or what buttons were clicked. What did the lady click to get the recording? Was it all one continuous recording? How long was it? Only then will giving us the raw data do anything. Without the raw file and all of that, period, full stop, without any hesitation, and with everybody involved literally saying, we're just going to bring the phone out, demonstrate and show you it, and not change our story because they've been bullshitting the killer. There's nothing wrong with lying to a killer. We're not killers. When you're lying to a killer that's in the public you're trying to eke out, you have to lie to the public. Acknowledge this. And this will cause conspiracy theories. Acknowledge it. Every fucking time they take down someone's website, it does this. Somebody recently was involved in a murder spree or an attempted murder spree, and he had a YouTube channel, a couple of them. They took it down. Why? They didn't have anything on there worth taking the channel down for. They literally flagged the shit out of the guy because of what he did outside of the platform, which means we don't have those clues that would tell us what happened. It looks like a cover-up. They redacted. They deleted everything. The tapes were erased. Do you understand why this induces this shit? I mean, I'm starting to sound like the guy. Look at the crazy wall with all the... You have to have green, red, and blue string. You can't use white and black. Trust me on that. Connecting the dots. And you wonder why we have these videos. None of the shit that's been going on concerning this case or any other case that makes anybody respond like I do helped. That's why I respond the way I do. Yes, in the first year, they shouldn't have released information. After a year, release all the goddamn data. Original website existed from February 23rd to July 1st, 2017. Then they changed it. But before they did, they put up a pop-up. Would you like to sign into our newsletter? Would you like us to send you spam? Can we record your IP address and MAC address? Can we keep tabs on you? Would you like the super cookie stuffed on your computer? Yes, that really happened. Because my computer won't let them do it. Yes, they mined the website. The audio file, one of them that was considered an original, it's enhanced, not original, was February 23rd, 2017. Archive.org is the only source for both of this. And then the video was only released, as far as I can tell, correct me if I'm wrong, 2019, April 22nd, and it's motion fixed, which means it could have been originally recorded upside down at a funny angle, and that means it's heavily altered. None of this data is admissible or usable for anything any of you are doing or I am doing. I had a video where I grabbed, as far as I can tell, the original least altered version of it. Same thing with the audio file. I got criticized for pointing out reality about it. Someone claims probably they were directed by profilers to play games and play up to the cameras during press conferences. Treated it as though a Batman villain had committed a crime and they were going to trigger them. Say something overtly wrong about the audio-video recording and see if you get a correction that really matches what it was originally. Oh yeah, it was done on an iPhone S6. And you get an email. No, it was an iPhone S5. Oh, thank you for your IP address, MAC address, and signing up for our website so we can track your ass down. Killer. They're banking on the guy being a Moriarty that's going to monologue, no capes, and tell everybody, aha, you think you're smart, but you didn't look underneath the log underneath the bridge. It's got my secret moniker, a footprint, or something. It's not the Zodiac Killer here. If you think you're smart, you're dumb. If you think you're dumb, you'll get away with shit. I've already done a video on this. Data recording on cell phones is done through non-volatile memory. NAND flash drives, solid-state drives. Each of them has a cell for every bit or not. That cell can hold a range of values it's programmed to. It can hold one value if it's binary. If it has 2 bits, it holds 2 levels and then 2 other levels in the middle, which means none of the levels are right in the middle. If it's going to store 4 bits of data, it has to have 16 levels already. It goes from 2 to 4 levels to 16 levels to do 4 bits, half a byte. To do a full byte, it has to have 256 different levels possible. How was it recorded on the memory chip is very, very important. Did they do a raw read where they altered the voltage across the chip slowly so they could eke out every variation of it just in case part of the memory was used for this heavy compression where they store basically analog recording data? Last, are they ever going to release that? Did they even think of that? This was done by the Delphi police, not NASA or FBI. FBI does this immediately. Next, did they record the whole thing as one block so that any deleted data could be checked? Did they know that if the video corrupted at the end, part of that might look like deleted data from a week ago, but it really isn't? Have they done differential testing of the information? And, by the way, during one of the press conferences, they deliberately played the audio through bad speakers and bad audio quality and bad acoustics, so everybody get a bad recording and people focus on that. Pareidolia inducing. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. I hope this was helpful.